my experience with The Legend of Zelda The Minish cap. So, and yes, I used the freaking title screen thing to show it off, but hey, you guys know me with Zelda videos. When was my last Zelda? Oh, Tears of the Kingdom. Or Breath of... Wait, was it Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? I don't even remember anymore, but, anyways, so... I want to talk about Minish Cap, because I just made another My Experience video, but I want to talk about Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap, right? And you know what? We're going to go old school with this one again and just kind of show me talking, not really much gameplay, because I don't really care about showing that off or whatever right now. I'm not in the mood to show any gameplay. What I mean to say is I'm not really in the mood to show, like, gameplay or anything like that. That's what I was trying to say earlier, but hey, life happens, so... But basically, in this review, I kind of want to go back a little bit and discuss Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap, right? Because I have played this game multiple times, and every single time, and this is like a Zelda curse I have on myself. This is a curse I feel like that is applied to me and only me. Not sponsored, by the way, just drinking this on video. Every single time I pick up a Zelda game, a 2D, a 3D Zelda game, it doesn't matter. 9 times out of 10, I am never going to finish it for one reason or another. And I just remember, like, the very first time I even heard about this game, we're going to go way back to before I even played it. So, one day, I was going to school. This is back in school, so you know it's forever ago if I'm talking about my school days. I made a whole My Experience on school, by the way. You want to check that out? Check that out. Matter of fact, that was a good video. That was a long video. If you guys want to know some things about my school life, my experience of me going to school, check that shit out. I don't know if I made a follow-up, but I've done a lot of things. But anyways, as I was saying, right? Back then, when I was in school, I think it was on the bus. I can't remember if I was going home or to school. Actually, no, it was when I was coming home one day. One of my driver's eds, because I used to go on a Money Bag May. How you doing? Eli, welcome to the stream. My bad for not saying nothing in the last stream. I just wanted to get the topic going on earlier. But anyway, as I was saying, glad you made it back, Eli, by the way, from the hospital. Anyways, moving on, right? Joel, welcome to the stream as well. But I was coming home from school one day because, you know, I ride the special needs bus, right? Because I'm a special ed kid. And when you're a special ed kid, you get dropped off at your house. You don't get dropped off at a stop sign near your houses. You get dropped off at your literal house, right? So when I was going home, like on that bus, I don't remember the driver's, the bus aid, basically the bus aid, as in like it helps the bus driver out with the special needs kids. So whenever there's a problem, he's going to be the first one to deal with it, right? Because he's the special aid. He's the special aid. He helps around the bus, right? We used to get along very, very well, right? And I remember he would sometimes give me things. And back then, when I was a kid, I didn't understand a lot of the things that he would do since I was a little kid. And obviously, like I mentioned before, my brain is way behind my age. Now, like mentally, I'm not like 23. Physically, I'm 23, but like mentally, I'm not 23. So, you know, back then, you know, when I was 15 or 14 or 13 then, I was probably even less than that in my brain. Anyways, right? Is this a true story? Yes, it is. So, one day my bus aide said, "Hey, Alan, I know you like playing video games, you know, you like the Nintendo stuff, right?" And I said, "Fuck yeah, I'm a Nintendo guy all the way." Keep in mind, this is many years before the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch 2, like the Wii U was like the newest thing in this era. So keep that in mind, right? And my bus aide one day sat down and gave me an entire booklet. I don't even know how he got this, but he gave me an entire Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap booklet. And I said hi back, Joel, a little bit ago, right? But I'm not lying when I say this. He gave me an entire booklet, and you guys know those game book manual thingies where it kind of shows you the in and outs of the game. Like it gives you a background on the story of the game. It gives you a tutorial on how to find some secrets. It gives you everything in the game pretty much. It's one of those books, or it gives you like an idea of what the game is and how to play it properly and some secrets, some cheat codes, and all that good shit, right? And I couldn't believe it because this was one of my first ever, not one of my first ever gaming magazines or book things, but this is one of my first ones I ever had about a specific game entirely, right? And it was Zelda related. Even though I barely played Zelda at the time, I still took in the gift because I said, this is fucking cool. This is rad. One of the first few Zelda things I ever laid my eyes on, in a long while that I was genuinely interested in. Don't keep in mind, I knew what Zelda was. I obviously, because I'm Nintendo and Zelda is one of their biggest IPs, so of course I was gonna know what it is. But I don't think at the time I played all that much Zelda. But I was still interested in the book, right? So I took the book from the driver's ed. And keep in mind, I was obsessed with cutouts at this time, right? So I would basically go around cutting out characters from books or whatever and kind of play with them. So that's kind of what I did with the booklet. I think a little later on, I could be wrong, but I think I did that a lot later on after reading it or whatever, after being interested in it for a little bit. And that's kind of the end of that story. It was a little washy, but you get my point. I got a Zelda book about the same game, and for some reason, every single time I click back into this game, I remember that fucking booklet I had. But anyway, so let's talk about the game Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap, right? I just want to give y'all a little story before we kind of continue into the game. So, the first time I played this game, I remember I was like, I'm going to sit down. I'm finally going to be interested in a fucking Zelda game. Let's fucking do this, right? Back when I talked about that story, I was like probably in 5th, 6th, or even the 4th grade. I'm talking, we were young as fuck over here, man. We were young. But I digress, right? But we're going to move on many years later, right? Many years later, this is when I was still trying to do... No, I do not have it still. I do not have it still. That thing is long gone in my life. I remember that much. That shit vanished within thin air. But anyways, I digress, right? So, this was me when I'm trying to play / finish Legend of Zelda games, and I was on my Zelda grind because I'm on a mission trying to find the Zelda game after Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, because those were the only 2 Zelda games I dedicated my time to at this point, and I was like, I want to find more Zelda games to get into, I want to find more and play, so I picked up the Minish Cap and said, I'm going to play this all the way to the end. I didn't even pass the intro screen. I said, you know what, maybe Zelda isn't for me again, and I dropped it. I dropped it because I think I remembered my time with Link to the Past or Zelda 1, and I'm like, this is similar to those, and usually I'm not really good with top-down games unless you're Super Mario RPG or something, right? Where I actually give a damn. So, it's really hard for me sometimes with some games to just focus and just get in on and just whatever, right? It's just hard for me to focus. It's just hard for me to, be invested in a Zelda game sometimes because I just can't. I think I have a problem like investing into things too. It's hard for me whenever because I have to have like a strong desire or a strong passion for what I'm into. Otherwise, I'm just gonna fall asleep on your ass. You know what I mean? Or I'm just not interested. Or I just don't care. But anyways. So other than that time when I tried to get past the loading screen, didn't get past it, I remember the second time I played it, I got past the title screen, never played it. Never played Sonic 06 for myself. All I saw was internet reviews on it and other people talk about it and all that stuff. Never played it. I was going to get it for the PS3, but Louis said no, even though it was only $10. I was going to play Sonic 06 at a point because I am interested in it. For some reason, I still am, but anyways, I digress, right? Back to the topic. I got a little bit further than the title screen, but then again, my uninterest came out, and I was like, man, fuck this game, man. I don't want to play it no more, right? And then a time later after that point, a little bit after the main menu and a little bit into the game, one day, and this is my most recent experience with the game, I decided to get back into the game, not really remembering my past experiences all that much. And for some reason that night, I remember getting so fucking hooked on it. Like, I was in the first dungeon figuring out its puzzles, figuring out what the fuck to do, where the fuck to go. And honestly, it was some of the most fun I had in a Zelda game in a while. Because um, like, the things I usually would think about. My brain just kind of shifted into the Zelda mode for some reason. I've never had a Zelda mode in my head for a long period of time. This is something I've been feeling like this is like a similar feeling I've had with Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, right? Maybe I can actually beat the game this time. And I remember, like, I think I either did the first dungeon. I did the first dungeon of the game, and I remember after the first dungeon, I think I got lost and I got tired of playing the game and I got fed up, right? Because that's the thing, right? When you tell me Southwest, or when you tell me to go this way or that way, and you don't kind of hold my hand to get me to the location, I don't know, I lose interest sometimes. And I remember I have this exact issue when I'm playing Metroid games, because Metroid games, you don't get told where to go most times in like Super Metroid, Metroid 2, or even the first Metroid. Zero Mission is the one that always, the remake of the first game, by the way, in that case, would tell you where to go, and Fusion would definitely tell you where to go, right? And I loved it when Metroid with those games did that, because usually I'm the type of guy, whenever there's a 3D game with a big map and a big world or whatever, I need those markers to show me where I need to go. Where is my next destination, so I can stay invested, so I can stay on to the game, you know? Because when I'm given like too much time to look around or fucking do that, you know, my ADHD kind of like comes in and be's like, I want to do this now. I want to go that way now. I want to do this now. I want to go do something else now. I want to go fucking, like, GTA 5 is a great example. I'm gonna go do this story mode mission. 5 minutes later, I want to blow up fucking trucks and cars and all that shit, right? And it's like, if I get lost, I'm gonna get lost on, you know, not only like the sense of wanting my investment into the game, I'm gonna get lost on like just wanting to do like my main objective or something. Which is why I feel like if you know, you can show me how to get there, but show me the right way how to get there sometimes, or a way where I could just still be invested or something like that, because not investment issues, that's not the right word, it's just that I'm not going to say I have commitment issues, because that's the wrong way of saying it. It's more of like, when I'm lost, I'm tired of it, right? And this is something that used to happen to me back then when I started getting into games. You know, one of the main reasons I would leave a lot of games is because I get lost so easily. And it's true even in real life. I got, like, the time I got lost at church, you know, after leaving church, I got lost for over 7 hours and didn't know my way back home. Fuck, when we moved in here for the first time, I didn't even know which one was my apartment, you know, and I almost had a whole thing back then, but that was years ago, right? But now it's like, because, like, Minish Cap after the first, you know, dungeon kind of, you know, I don't know, kind of threw me out of the whole Zelda mood. I haven't really picked up Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap all that much in a while, and it's kind of making me remember, like, oh man, you know, maybe Zelda isn't for me, man. Maybe this Zelda shit is, you know, not really all that good, you know. Maybe it's just not for me. And I remember when I got that thought in my head with this game, I kind of just said, you know what, I got better things to do, like drink Coca-Cola. This shit's so good. Like I am right now, and just call it quits, you know. And don't get me wrong, for what I enjoyed of the game, I thought was really, really fun, but sometimes you just gotta take the game, play it for a little bit, and just leave it afterwards. That's what you gotta do.
leave it afterward.
You know, that's what you just gotta do with the game. Anyways, I'm gone. That's all I have to say about Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap. I know this wasn't much of a review, but in my opinion, if you love top-down Zelda games like most Zelda games, you might get a kick out of this. You know, going big and small and stuff, changing your size or whatever. Cool, you know. If you enjoy it, you might enjoy this one. I don't know. I can't tell you what you enjoy, but I certainly did, but until I didn't enjoy it type of thing. But that's how I got fed up with Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap. I'm not done streaming. I'll be streaming a few more times, probably. Most likely. You know what? I will.